Hey everyone, welcome to a brand new Hangout right here on Night Owl Video. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate your continued support. It is a very, very cold Saturday morning here at the end of February in Nova Scotia, Canada. And last week's video, I had the windows open and it was like +5 or whatever. It was very exciting. We seem to have plunged back into a bit of a cold snap, and we're getting a nor'easter on Monday, I think. So winter's not quite done with us. Well, that's okay, because we carry on, right? I hope everyone out there is doing well. If you're new to the channel or you're new to this video, this is the Hangout where I encourage you to heat up that warm beverage, or maybe refrigerate that cool beverage, or just don't drink anything. Have a snack, do some needle pointing, do some sketching, hang out with me for a bit, have me on in the background while you're cleaning the dishes, whatever your choice is. Every week I talk about what I listen to on the hi-fi stereo, which is not actually hi-fi. It's from, I bought my stereo at Shoppers Drug Mart. And I also talk about movies I watched, and I talk about physical media pickups. And then I get to, I'm just realizing I left the computer over there, upcoming physical media releases for the upcoming week. So this week has been music heavy and not so much on the movies. I watched, it appears to be 4 movies, although I think I watched a 5th on streaming. And the pickups weren't super fantastic this week. I only got a few things. I haven't been out thrifting much, actually. Well, I shouldn't say that. I've been to Value Village mostly every day last week, but I just didn't find anything I really wanted. So let's jump into the music I listened to. I remember to keep my magnifying glass close to the stack in case I need it. Kids, no fun getting old. No fun getting old, but oh heck. I'm just in my 50s. I guess I'm not that old, hey? Have been enjoying some winter walks recently. And you'll be proud of me. Old person figures out how to listen to music on their cell phone with their wireless headphones. I've always had an MP3 player since 2010. My MP3 player died. I went to Best Buy. They said the only model they carry is a Sony, and it's over $1,000. And I said, okay, not doing that. And then this customer service person said, just download VLC player on your phone, carry your MP3s over to your phone, and boop. And now I'm listening to music again. So, give Gen Xers a little bit of credit, because we had to not only navigate the old ways, but we also have to navigate the new ways. Anyway, I did put music on my phone, listen to it on my headphones while I walk in the park. It's lovely. And some of these music picks are things I listened to while I was walking. The first thing that I listened to, which I listened to yesterday while I was at home, that is Swans. This is the Filth Deluxe Edition 3 CD set. I was a big Swans fan in the 80s. I was really, really into the album Cop, which is kind of brutal, but I think I might have showed this on the channel before. This has wonderful, this is a really nice packaging. This is the cover here. Swans at CBGB's, and the picture sort of sums up. It's muscular, scary noise rock. There's the boys and girls in action. I don't know if Jarbo was in the band at this point. But yeah, Swans were really, really, for me anyway, the early stuff is, you just can't top it. There's Michael Gira. Some people might not be into that. But yeah, I was really into Swans when I was a teenager. But this is really, really nice packaging. I picked this up at a record store called Sonic Boom in Toronto about 6 years ago when I was up for a radio station conference. And yeah, so I only listened to one disc yesterday. This is a really nice collection, though. It has a lot of the early EP is on here. It has live. Let's see, live. There's Live at the Kitchen, New York City, 1982, 83, which is like the craziest time. And it also has like tape loops on it that they made, and like this is a wicked. Now, if I could find the companion to this, which is the album Cop, in this deluxe edition. I don't know if it came out in this deluxe edition, but it's from Young God Records. It has this weird embossed labeling. I don't know if you can see that or not. But yeah, I was in a weird mood yesterday, and I popped this on. Actually, the teeth are embossed as well, which is kind of cool. But yeah, if you like, I mean, for me, I've always said it doesn't get any heavier than early Swans. I mean, you could play any death metal, any grindcore, you could say, no, this is the heaviest band. But if you listen to Swans from about 1982 to 84, hands down, nothing heavier. I challenge you to, and like I'm going to see Primitive Man in a couple of months, and there's a band that's like, if you want to know what a modern equivalent might be, although I would even argue Swans were heavier. Apparently they were so loud in concert that people were like fainting, they were shitting their pants. It was quite brutal. I never got to experience them live, but and I don't know if they're still going. I know they broke up and then they came back, and I don't know. Anyway, was there anything else in that vein? Just trying to see here. I guess the next nearest thing would be I listened to. This packaging is confusing. The next thing I listened to is this Pink Floyd Ummagumma. This is the 2-disc set. Look at that. I got it for $5.99 from Backstreet Records in St. John. This is a 2-disc set. One is the studio album and one is a live album. Both are excellent. I'll show you the back. I really love these. There's my Legos. I got the camera stacked on top of the Legos. There's a picture there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's the band with like all of their equipment piled up in front of them, like in a sort of biggest to smallest thing. I always loved that picture. It always fascinated me. But yeah, I may have told the story about this album before, but when I was 14, I was homesick with a fever, and I turned on my local campus community radio station, CHSR FM, in Fredericton, New Brunswick. And there used to be a radio show where a person would play like a whole album. That was their whole show. I guess this was before the CRTC regulations with CanCon and stuff. But they used to play whole albums. And one night, in a delirious fever, that person played the album Ummagumma. And I had never heard anything like it. I mean, at that point, 83, 84, I was listening to Motley Crue, Rat, Twisted Sister, Wasp, and stuff like that. I had never really heard anything weird like that. And yeah, I kept coming in and out of sleep. And like, if you've ever listened to Ummagumma by Pink Floyd, it's a very, very weird album. It's a sort of a patchwork of instrumentals and weird acoustic songs and bird noises, and it's really, really experimental. And I didn't know what experimental music was at that time, and it really freaked me out in a good way. Of course, that led me to listening to CHSR FM more and more and more, and of course CBC FM late at night, Brave New Waves. This is where I learned a lot about my early music education came from campus radio, and that's why I got involved, I guess, ultimately in the end. But yeah, Ummagumma's always had a kind of a special place for me in the Pink Floyd catalog. I like a lot of other Pink Floyd stuff. I did pick up Live at Pompeii last fall, which is amazing. But yeah, Ummagumma's always had that really special spot in my heart for that reason. I remember telling my best friend Andy the next day, I was like, man, I heard this record on the radio and it was really weird. And I tried to explain it to him. I don't know if I did a great job explaining it, but yeah, trippy. I didn't really listen to this whole album, but I did listen to a few tracks in the car the other day. This is Down. This is the album NOLA, which is short for New Orleans. Nolans, NOLA. This is, what's his name? Phil Anselmo from Pantera. It's his other band. I can't remember who else is in the band. Pepper Keenan, I think, from Corrosion of Conformity. Kirk, Todd, and Jim. I don't know the other guys, but I think this is sort of like an all-star, like sort of like heavy, groovy, stoner kind of metal. And the reason I got onto that is because earlier in the week I had been listening to, I think I mentioned this last week, but I continued to listen to Sleep, Holy Mountain. I also popped on Black Sabbath's first album. I don't know if I mentioned this before, guys, but if you're an audiophile, this self-titled Black Sabbath Warner Brothers, this is catalog number CD1871. This CD sounds so damn good. I've heard this album throughout my life, but when I listen to this CD, I don't know, for whatever reason, to me this sound is spectacular. And I'm not like a true audiophile. I mean, when I hear something that sounds really good, I'm all on board. But for some reason, this particular pressing, it is oh my God. Maybe it's just a really well mixed album, but this particular CD sounds so good. Yeah, so I've been kind of like in a stoner thing, so that's kind of why I listened to some Down. And I also listened to Danzig 666. This is Satan's Child. This is the this is the limited edition album artwork, I believe. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's a limited edition cover art. This is a weird album. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Danzig, cat food, I know. But anyway, moving on to people who actually like Danzig, and I'm one of them. This was a weird album. This was a real kind of a tipping point between Danzig 5 and Danzig 7, I Luciferi. But this one is like, it's like, how do I explain it? It's like, it has elements of like new metal as far as like the guitar tone and like the tempo, but it's got a lot of really interesting musical layers in it, really interesting percussion stuff in it, like a lot of like, there's one that has like a really like an East Indian kind of sounding, a Middle Eastern sounding vocal piece in it. It's really quite weird, quite interesting. But the drummer on this album was that I don't remember the guy's name. Joey C on drums. He is an excellent drummer, and this album is good. It's good. If you like Danzig, I know a lot of, yeah, I know, cat food, yeah, I know, I get it. But there's the comic book version of Danzig, I guess, or some kind of barbarian. But yeah, I really like this album. Like I said, it's a bit of a departure from the earlier stuff. It's not quite as kind of blues rock. It's a little more electronic-y, experimental-ish kind of. So I listened to that a lot in the car this week. I don't know. It's just to shake the dust off. You know, winter, please, we're good, and spring, please come because I want to ride my bike. And speaking of shaking the dust off, I also enjoyed Dayglow Abortion's "Feed Us a Fetus." Feed Us a Fetus. This is the 1996 repress from God Records, apparently. Guys, if you grew up in Canada in the 80s and you were a punk rocker, you probably are familiar with this album. I used to hear this album, songs from this album on, again, going back to another CHSR tie, but I used to listen to songs off this on Mike London's Shock Treatment radio show in 1985-86. And this is... Dayglow Abortions are an interesting band. I like some of these songs would not fly now. But there's a weird part of me that loves this album. It's really heavy. It's like really heavy punk, hardcore. It's got some kind of metallic sound to the guitar. But yeah, this has got some songs on it that probably wouldn't fly today in the PC world of punk rock, but I still quite enjoy it. It's like one of those albums, you know, like now you're like, not so, probably shouldn't be, you know, enjoying this as much as I am, but I am. So I did see Dayglow Abortions in 88, I believe it was. I'm trying to, oh, it's dedicated to Tipper Gore. It says, "Play it loud, douchebag." Yeah. But yeah, this, I saw them, I think it was 88 at the Fredericton Exhibition Center. They played. It was a huge stage, I remember. I think I told you guys about this a few weeks ago. Me and my friend Sasha wore shirts and ties to be obnoxious. Yeah, I do really love this album. I can't say I like other Dayglow Abortions. There's the one right after this. I kind of enjoyed that. I forget what that's called. That has like F Satan to Death or whatever on it. I feel like I was going to say something else about this. But yeah, if you like hardcore punk from the 80s, you're not shy about listening to stuff that's, you know, maybe not totally politically correct. But this just, I don't know, this just puts a big smile on my face. And the other day, it was about one or two, it was like +1 or +2. And I was doing some errands and I popped this on the car stereo and I got a coffee. And I don't know, I just had a big grin on my face and singing like, you know, Dog Farts, Stupid World, Proud to be a Canadian, Ronald McRaegun, Kill the Hosers, I Am My Own God, Germ Attack, The Idiot, Acting Like Black Sabbath, which is hilarious, speaking of Black Sabbath. But yeah, and I know these guys are still going. I heard one of their new albums like about 10 years ago, and it just wasn't for me, but yeah. I don't know. Every once in a while, it's just one of those albums where it's like just popping on and just, I guess maybe it's a bit of nostalgia. It just takes me back to being a teenager and hearing those songs for the first time. Oh, I was going to say, speaking of campus community radio, later today I'm recording a radio program with my good friend Tyler for his radio show Harmony Corruption. And we're going to be talking about the year 1986. I believe this album was actually 85 originally, because I was kind of excited to maybe talk about this, but I think this album is 85. But anyway, Tyler and I are going to be talking about heavy music from 1986, and I will try to remember maybe an upcoming video to post a link to the radio station. It's called Local FM 107.3. It's out of St. John, New Brunswick, and I'm going to be a guest on the show. We're recording later today, but I don't know when it will air, but in the coming weeks. And we'll be discussing all things 1986, mostly metal, but I do, part of my puzzle piece for the show is I like to talk about punk albums that came out in that year, pop records that came out that year, world headlines, and then we talk a lot about like metal releases, just because Tyler's show is metal. But yeah, we're doing kind of like different years throughout time, so that'll be really fun. 86 was a crazy year. Metallica, Master of Puppets, Slayer, Rain and Blood, Cro-Mags, Age of Quarrel, so many good records that year. So I will try my best to keep you abreast of when that's going to broadcast. And then the final album I listened to, and also is a pickup, I listened to, well, actually I haven't listened to the whole thing yet, but Gowan, Strange Animal. This is also I believe this is also an album from 1985, yes, from CBS Records. If you grew up in the 80s in Canada, you would probably know Gowan. Some of you may inadvertently know who Gowan is now because he is the lead singer for the rock group Styx. Yes. Yeah, I found this at the Value Village yesterday, and I had to grab it. One that I didn't have in my collection, but this, of course, Cosmetics, You're a Strange Animal, A Criminal Mind, which is criminally underrated pop song. I've only listened to about half the album so far, but sounds good to me. I've been kind of in I'm as I get older, of course, you get that nostalgia, and the 80s for me was the era that I was a teenager, so a lot of this stuff is, when I find these albums, I grab them right away, just because you don't really see them around much. I don't know how much they got reissued, but yeah, Gowan was a really cool kind of, I guess, pop sort of new wave singer from the 80s. This was his big album. I saw him in concert in the year 1997. He did a solo show at a bar once. I went to see him, and he was amazing. I got his autograph from my partner at the time. But yeah, this is a fun record. Now, I don't think I had this cassette when I was a kid. I remember hearing it from friends that had it, but just listening to it in the car yesterday, I didn't realize there were quite a few tracks on it that are kind of like darker sounding, like darker new wave kind of sounds. So yeah, that was cool. That was the first of my pickups. I don't really have a lot of pickups this week. I'll talk about the movies I watched first, and then we'll talk about pickups, and then we'll talk about upcoming new releases. I hope everyone's having a good time. I love just rambling on about music and movies, having a hot cup of coffee. Like I said, it's kind of a dreary day here. It's overcast, and it's extremely cold. I think the wind chill is minus 21 Celsius, so it's very, very cold. Hopefully the temperature will go up a bit as the day progresses. The first movie I watched on physical media is an early Peter Jackson film. Let's see if I can find a year on it, which I seem to not be able to. I believe this is like late 90s, if I'm not mistaken. It's a film based on a true story. It's Heavenly Creatures. This stars Melanie Linsky, Kate Winslet. I believe this might be her first movie. Yeah, directed by Peter Jackson. Screenplay by Francis Walsh and Peter Jackson. I thought this was like 96 or 97. I could be wrong. You guys can let me know. This is a very old DVD, as you can see. The inside has that weird pop-up thing. This was a first-time watch for me. I had heard about this movie for a long time. It was pretty good. I don't see myself rewatching it, but I thought it was quite good. I can see where People saw a young Kate Winslet's acting abilities and thought, yep, she needs to be in more stuff. But both of the actresses in this were really good. This, as you can see, got lots of love from the critics. Um, Time magazine said thrilling. Siskel and Ebert said 2 thumbs up. From a secret world no one could see came a crime no one could believe. Yeah, thrilling and provocative. I don't know. I feel like some of the quotes on here are trying to build it up more than it maybe deserves. I don't know. It was a good movie. It kept you going and going. You're like, where is this going? If you don't know the story, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but if you don't know the story, you kind of get sucked into it. And the acting is really good. And I just noticed they put spellbinding, and then the quote is from Rolling Stones with an S. I think you mean Rolling Stone. Oops. But yeah, it's okay. Peter Jackson for me is Lord of the Rings. Dead Alive. Gosh, I'd probably even watch King Kong over this, but yeah, it was okay. It was okay. It's based on a true story. I don't want to give it away in case you haven't seen it, but I would not say it's gripping or compelling. I would say it's an easy watch. It's a slow burn. Good acting. You can see a lot of Peter Jackson's camera work in it. You can see clearly where it's like, oh, this got carried over to, his bigger films, the style and that. But yeah, that's going to be a one and done for me. I did, because it's this time of year, I need comfort. I did put on Muppets Most Wanted the other night. I look, I love this and the one right before it, The Muppets, I think is called. This is kind of when they rebooted the Muppets deal. But this one really makes me laugh. There's certain movies that a lot of people, when I say that to them, they'll say, what? That wasn't that great of a movie, but it's like Emperor's New Groove is a movie that always makes me laugh, cracks me up. And this one with the bad guy, Constantine, and then it's got, of course, all-star human cast as well. Ricky Gervais, Ty Burrell, Tina Fey. It's got a lot, and it's got a lot of like cameos in it. Lady Gaga's in there for a minute. But yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just a light, wholesome. I turn my brain off and just chill out and watch it. So I really like this movie. It's cute. Just speaking of that, Ty Burrell is the guy from last week I watched Dawn of the Dead from 2004, I believe. He's the guy that was really sarcastic in that movie and unlikable. In this movie, he is a secret private. No, he's like a FBI. Yeah, I like this one. The scenario here is the Muppets go on tour. They go to Russia, or no, they go to oh gosh, I can't remember where they went to now. Doesn't say, I guess. They go to a theater, and then the evil Kermit, which is his name is Constantine. He swaps places with the real Kermit, but he's got like a thick Russian accent, and he's like, "Hi, lo, my name is Kermit," and it's really, really funny the way they play it. Ricky Gervais just like, "Oh no, he's just got a sore throat," and he's like, "Hello, pig," he's like talking to Miss Piggy. I don't know. I just really, really like it. I grew up on the Muppets as a kid, so I do have kind of a soft spot for the Muppets, and I feel like they've always been pretty funny. I did recently watch a bit of the reboot one on Disney Plus. I didn't get through the whole episode, or I just didn't have time to finish it, but it was okay. It was okay. But I find that like this one and the movie, I think it's just called The Muppets, which was right before this one, which was like the reboot from like 2012 or 2014, whenever it was. Just really, really fun movies. And then speaking of sort of comfort movies. I just really haven't been into the mood for watching a lot of unknown stuff to me. I did rewatch Doom with The Rock and Carl Urban, and I did watch the first Resident Evil. I don't know if I'll carry on. Usually, when I watch the first one, I end up binge watching the whole series, even though I know the later ones aren't that great. But um, these are, weirdly enough, these are kind of like comfort movies for me. Um, I like a movie, I think I've said this before, and I'm sure it's just like a style of storytelling, but the whatever the storytelling trope is, where it's like a couple people have to go do a thing and then they add people to their team and then they go into a world like Wizard of Oz, Star Wars 1977, Aliens, like those kind of ones where it's like there's a couple people, they add a couple quirky characters, and then they go and solve a thing or overcome some kind of bad thing. Good versus evil, that kind of thing. And so to me, like Doom, although not a well-liked movie by most people, I love this movie. I'm not even going to say it's a guilty pleasure. I just love this movie. I think it gets a lot of negativity for no reason. Is people that grew up on the game maybe that think it's just too cheesy, but it's just cheese. It's just beautiful, beautiful sci-fi cheese. Fry it up and turn your brain off and have a little time. Have a little romp in a underground laboratory with Carl Urban and The Rock, and who else is in here? What's his name? What's that guy's name? He's not even in the credits. Richard Brake is in here, and Rosamund Pike is in here. She's awesome. I don't know why this movie gets so much hate. I guess it's maybe just because it's not like the video game, and people that grew up on the video game don't like that. But it's like when I was watching it the other night, I thought this is just like Aliens Light. Really. Replace the xenomorphs with like some like virus induced kind of zombie like characters. Lots of guns, lots of shooting, lots of, basically like it's like Colonial Marines, except this time it's the RRST, the Rapid Response Tactical Team, or something like that. RRTS, Rapid Response Tactical Squad, maybe. But yeah, I do love this movie. Okay, I won't bore you anymore. And yeah, in Resident Evil, I like Mila Jovovich. I just think she's really cool and fierce. And I didn't play the video games. I tried to play Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube once, and it scared me. I had to turn it off. But yeah, these again, it's just like group of people going in an underground bunker, fighting off these people who are, rage, virus, whatever. I don't know. I just like that trope, whatever it is. Which actually got me thinking, because I have a story in mind for like a graphic novel or a movie or something. And mine was kind of like that. I don't want to give it away because, it's probably going to make me like billions of dollars. But yeah, I'm kind of thinking about adding that element to the story that I have in my mind, my own story. So I may actually finish watching this trilogy at least and consider the other ones. I don't know. But yeah, those are my movie watches for this past week. That's not true. So these are my pickups. I also picked up and watched Fanboys from 2009, I think it was. I remember liking this movie when it came out, but when I rewatched it last night, I thought it was kind of bad. This is, let's see, Jay Baruchel, Dan Fogler, Sam Huntington, Christopher Marquette, and Kristen Bell. This was directed by somebody named Kyle Newman from 2009. William Shatner makes a guest appearance in it, as does Carrie Fisher. It is about a group of 20-somethings in the year 1998 who decide to travel across country and break into Lucasfilm to steal a print of the then unreleased Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace movie. And they have a van in it that's like looks like the old model kit, the old Star Wars model kits from the 70s. I remember those with the little R2D2 head on the top. Yeah, this was a weird era for movies, I guess. This is the old Blockbuster sticker on it. Pop it open and have a look inside. There's the classic Blockbuster embossed case. This was a weird time for movies, I think, because a couple of weeks ago, as you know, if you were watching, I rewatched Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and I was commenting about how dated it was. And I know this is supposed to be set in 1998, so of course it's playing the part of a movie, of an era that was already like 11 years old at the time this film was made. Now, all these years later, and it's like, it has a lot of homophobia. It has a lot of sexist kind of stuff in it. It's just like dick and fart jokes again. It's like, this was a weird era of movie making. And this one, the whole time I was watching it, I was thinking, this is like this is like telling a bunch of high school kids to make a movie. It had that kind of vibe to it. It was just, but I think it was just that era. I don't know. But yeah, it didn't hold up for me. I thought it was quite bad. Actually, I bought this and the other movie I'm going to show you. I bought both of them at a SPCA thrift shop, charity shop. They were each $1. So the problem with this one actually is it didn't play all the way through. It froze about 2/3 of the way through, and I had to finish watching it on streaming. So this will probably just be going in the trash, I guess, because I don't like to trade in movies that don't play. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it had a couple funny moments in it. Now, does it list, what's his name in it? No, because what's his name was in it? What's his name? Seth Rogen was in it? He's not listed on the credits. That's kind of weird. And then like even the credits on the back, it's like Dan Fowler from Balls of Fury, Jay Baruchel from Tropic Thunder, Kristen Bell from Forgetting Sarah Marshall. It's like all those movies from around that time, I think. I don't know. It's like, it feels so dated now. Where I could watch a movie from the 80s and it doesn't feel quite that way, but that era of movie making, it seems like that frat boy kind of thing. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend this, even if, like, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, like the original trilogy, and when I saw this for $1, I thought, yeah, I'd rewatch that for $1, and then I was just like, it's not that good. It doesn't hold up that well. The other movie I grabbed for $1 was John Cusack in High Fidelity, also starring Jack Black, Lisa Bonet, Joan Cusack, Sarah Gilbert. I haven't rewatched this yet. This was another one. It's like, I want to support my SPCA thrift store. I'm not sure. Their DVDs are only $1, so it's a really awesome deal. I remember liking this movie back in the day. This will probably be, again, much like Fanboys and Heavenly Creatures, will just be a one and done, and then I'll trade them in for credit at somewhere and carry forward. Yeah, I haven't watched this movie in years, but I do love the scene where John Cusack decides to start his own record store at the near the beginning, and it's just him in this store, and he's like smoking a cigarette, and he's got like a stack of records, and there's some cool music blasting in the background. And because I've always, as a young person, I thought, yeah, I want to have my own record store. That was one of my early dreams. I never pursued it, but that scene always gets me really I find it really inspiring. And of course, this has Jack Black, very famous, where they work at a record store, and he like tells people off for like buying bad music and stuff. Don't know. Just grabbed it for cheap. And then I bought a book, and I don't buy a lot of books, but I was having kind of a crappy day yesterday. I had a bad experience with somebody on Facebook Marketplace, and I was feeling really grouchy, and I was thrifting, and I came across this book, How to Be an Explorer of the World, Portable Art Crossed Out Life Museum by Carrie Smith. I don't buy a lot of books. This was $5. I started flipping through it. I do like books that look like this. Must be my spectrum analysis. Things like this. I don't know. This kind of book really appeals to me. Different fonts and drawings, and this is from the year 2008. And what is the deal with this book? How to use this book. Read in any order. Use fieldwork section in the back of the book to record and document findings. All exercises are open to interpretation. That really appeals to my brain. Feel free to add, alter, or ignore. There are no rules, merely suggestions. Treat everything as an experiment. Again, really appeals to me. Start with whatever makes you feel a twinge of excitement. So even just that how to use this book list gets me really fired up, because it's like, I love that kind of approach. Experimentation, add, ignore, interpret. Because the other day I was thinking about a book. I'm going to go off on a tangent for a minute. But when I was little, I had a book, and it was like how to be a secret spy, like a secret agent. And it was a whole book on like secret agent gear and stuff, how to make your own spy equipment using household goods and things like this. I don't know why that book came into my brain, and I had like a little synapse fired it up, and I was like, oh my God, I love that book. I wish I still had that book to look at it. But then I saw this. I was in a really crabby, grouchy mood. I wasn't finding much at the thrift store, and I saw this, and I don't know why, but it just appealed to me, and I just decided to grab it and see if there's something in here that could get me fired up. Look at this. Mini ecosystem. And I guess just going on my walks recently and looking forward to the spring. Look at this. Graph paper also really excites me for some reason. I love doodling on graph paper. Research notes, connect the dots. I mean, I don't know. There's just something about this book. Like I said, I don't buy a lot of books, but go buy a used guitar, buy a sketchbook, build a sculpture in nature out of wood and rocks. What does this say? Found sounds. Collect objects based on the sounds you can make with them. For example, tubes, metal, plastic. You may want to experiment with adding or combining objects to make new sounds, or adding other elements like water. Consider that we experience sound in all parts of our body, not just our ears. We can feel vibrations. There's a quote from Walt Whitman. Do you want to hear it? Now I will do nothing but listen. I hear all sounds running together, combined, fused, or following. Sounds of the city and sounds out of the city. Sounds of the day and night. So yeah, this is about going out into the world and using your senses to like experience the world and explore the world. And I don't know, it just got me really excited. And with the warmer weather coming, I'm hoping maybe that this is interesting. It has a warning on the back too. To whoever has just picked up this book, if you find that you are unable to use your imagination, you should put this book back immediately. It is not for you. In this book, you will be repeatedly asked to suspend your disbelief, complete tasks that make you feel a bit strange, look at the world in ways that make you think differently, conduct experiments on a regular basis, and see inanimate objects as alive. Dude, this book was made for me, I think. So yeah, so that was my last pickup. Let me know in the comments below if any of that appeals to you. You know, whatever. No pressure. What you listen to, what you bought, what you watched, listen to, slash. Sorry, I'm just grabbing my laptop, my handy dandy laptop, so that I can tell you what movies are coming out this upcoming week on physical media. To anyone who has made it this far, thank you for watching. I think my average duration of watch is about 20 minutes, so I think for most people my videos are a bit long, and for that I will not apologize. But for people who enjoy sticking around to the end, thank you. You're awesome. You're awesome if you watch 20 minutes too. But you're missing a whole bunch of really weird gibberish and potentially pointless and useless information, but it's fun. Movies and music and nature and bicycles and coffee are all kind of cool. What's going on here? Blu-ray.com. I did see Begonia is now streaming on Amazon Prime, I believe it was. So I'm probably going to watch that today or tomorrow. I can't remember if I watched anything else on streaming this past week. I don't think I did, but all right. So the upcoming Tuesday would be February 24th. We're almost to March, guys. February 24th. So let's scroll down to February 24th and see what's coming out for all you physical media hounds. All right, February 24th, 2026, new releases on physical media in Canada, according to Blu-ray.com. These are not guaranteed to be on the shelves in your stores. This is just me telling you what this website says. We have something called Trigger Man from 2007 coming out on Blu-ray. Excalibur is coming out from 1981, is coming out on 4K from Arrow Video. I had that DVD a couple years ago and watched it, and I thought it was quite lame, actually. Just not my thing, I guess. Something called Network from 1976 is coming out on 4K. Tank Girl from 1995 is coming out on 4K Ultra HD disc. Westworld is coming out on 4K from Arrow Video as well. That is an excellent science fiction film from the year 1973. Westworld with Yul Brynner, a personal favorite of mine. I think I have that on Blu-ray. I probably wouldn't work my way up to 4K, but I bet it would look fantastic on 4K. Criterion is putting out The Man Who Wasn't There from 2001 with Billy Bob Thornton. This is a Coen Brothers movie, which also stars Frances McDormand, James Gandolfini. Coen Brothers, The Man Who Wasn't There. I feel like that's one a lot of people don't talk about. I definitely watched that back in the day. Can't tell you much about it. True Romance is coming out on 4K, although I feel like that's been out before. That's coming out from Arrow Video. The Japanese Godfather trilogy from 1977 to 1978 is coming out on Blu-ray from Radiance Films. That's a 3-movie set. Let's see what else we got here. Phantom of the Opera from 1998 is coming out on 4K. Is that that's coming out from Vinegar Syndrome, the label Vinegar Syndrome. That is the Dario Argento version of Phantom of the Opera, which is a movie I think I had and got rid of and never actually watched. Let's see what else is coming out. There's a lot of catalog titles. Ilsa, the Tigress of Siberia is coming out on 4K from 1977. Let's see what else we got here. The Eurocrypt of Christopher Lee is coming out on, what does it say? This is coming out on Blu-ray. It's the films are Beat Girl, The Hands of Orlac, The Virgin of Nuremberg, Blu-ray and 4K, Arabian Adventure, A Feast at Midnight, the lives and death of Christopher Lee. Don't know much about that one. A lot of stuff I don't know what it is. The Snow Creature from 1954. Stranger on the Third Floor from 1940 is coming out on Blu-ray. Something called Birthright from 2025. Blast Off Girls from 1967. Looks like a lot of like older stuff, cult stuff. Date with a Vampire, The Ghost from 1963. Highway to Hell from 1990. So there's a lot of kind of funky cult stuff coming out. And I'm just seeing here, guys, that Pink Floyd Live at Pompeii is actually coming out on 4K Blu-ray from Legacy Recordings. I did not know this was coming out. The pre-order is $94 for some reason. I don't know why. That's crazy. Why is it so expensive? Yeah, I just got the compact disc of this. I'm just looking to see if it has anything listed as far as like extra features on it. So that comes out this coming Friday, the 27th, I believe it is. So let's just have a look here and see what it is. Yeah, people are complaining on here. Well, damn, they got me. I just bought the Blu-ray that came out not too long ago. Yeah. So the Blu-ray was just, I think, just re-released recently. I know the CD was remastered by Steven Wilson from, I think it's Porcupine Tree. I did get that CD and it's really good, but I think they also did the film, if I'm not mistaken. But now they're putting out the 4K, which is, I hate when they do that. So obnoxious. I hear so many physical media collectors complain about that. They're like, we're not putting this out on 4K. You have to buy the Blu-ray. You buy the Blu-ray and then, 6 months later they put out the 4K. It's really obnoxious. But anyway, it says it's a single disc with a booklet. It's a digipack. It's 4K region free. So yeah, I don't know why it's so expensive, but anyway, Pink Floyd Live at Pompeii is coming out February 25th. So if you want to check that out, that will be available on Wednesday. Oh, it's on Wednesdays. My apologies. So yeah, I'm just going to skip ahead to next week and see what we're looking at for the beginning of March. If there's anything cool coming out. Oh yeah, okay. So that's everything that's coming out on physical media this coming week. Let me know if any of that appeals to you. I didn't read off every single thing that was listed there because it's just too much and there's stuff on there. I don't know what it is, but that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you had a good time. Feel free to comment below if there's anything in my video that you thought was cool or stupid or you are indifferent. Let me know what you listened to or watched on the streaming or on the physical medias. What else? What else is going on? Yeah. Cusp of spring. Staring down a nor'easter. Not too excited about that, but yeah, this week I think I will watch the film Begonia because that looks cool. And I have a few others, maybe the Resident Evil films. I might do a little dip on those. I did recently, as some of you know, I got the Starsky and Hutch. I got the complete DVD box set, and I also got the complete Land of the Lost box set. So I kind of think I might dip into those a little bit and see where that goes. Um, it's funny, you know, I buy those TV sets and then I have a really hard time finishing watching them. I'm still trying to slog through the Batman 66 box set. But then there's other ones like the Battlestar Galactica box set from 78. I went through that in like 3 days. So I guess it just depends on my mood, but yeah, that's that. And I guess that's about it. I wish I had more to say. We've got almost an hour in here. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what you've been watching or listening to. Also, I always, if you see what I listen to and what I watch, and you have things that you would want to recommend that you think I might like, RIYL, recommend if you like. Feel free to put them in the comments below. I'm always looking for new stuff to watch and listen to. This coming week, I'm also going to see, well, if the nor'easter isn't too bad, I'm slated to go see Bad Religion and Offspring on Tuesday night with my sis. So I'll let you know how that concert was if we get there, and if the concert isn't postponed or whatever due to weather. But yeah, that's this coming week. And that's about it, guys. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your continued support. And like I always say, take good care of yourselves and your friends and your family and your community. Get out there, go for a walk if you can, or go out in any capacity you can, even if it's on the front doorstep. Enjoy some sunshine if it's not too cold. Drink lots of water. Eat good food. You know, I don't want to come from a place of privilege here. So eat what food you can. Try to be healthy. Reach out to your mental health support workers in your community if you need help. And just be a good person, because remember last week I told you being kind is the new punk rock. So let's go. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Until next time, you know the drill. I will see you at the video store or at the thrift store or just out and about somewhere. But until next time, take good care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.